I'm not really looking forward to this meeting, of course.
Oh, Deno.
No, and every time we see them, we never seem to move it forward.
Well, it's been rather frustrating, but then again, we have to put our frustration on side. Do you actually want to be a leader? Let's say that you've been an expert on a certain area, and then because of your merits, then you suddenly you are made a leader. Do you actually want to step into that space? Because it requires quite a bit of personal development.
I mean, everything boils back to the fact that if you don't know what you're doing, how can you then tell that effectively to someone else? And as leaders, if they haven't got that clarity of vision, of direction, of strategic intent, then you're obviously going to have a disconnect when the people who are then going to actually doing the work need to do it because they haven't got that clarity either.
I'm thinking about the difference between East and West again. If you can overgeneralize, it could be that in Western world we tend to seek for leaders who are quite extroverted and kind of like animated, charismatic leaders.
Right.
Versus in this part of the world, introverted leader could be the more preferred type of leader.
Absolutely.
And then of course the question is that once you work in a multinational organization, how you kind of flex your style so that you can be effective. But what I think about nowadays, I think coaching has evolved quite a bit in terms of like nowadays we very seldom get any remedial coaching. So organizations recognize that this is a very expensive development intervention. So we basically get people who are hungry to go forward and develop. And I think that sets the coaching for good success.
I remember at the very beginning, coaching, as you said, was completely remedial.
Yes.
Okay, we're going to send this guy for coaching. It's the last thing we do before we fire him.
Yeah, fix him.
Yeah,
if you can.
If we can't fix him, we'll get rid of him.
Yeah.
I mean, it starts with the need.
Yes.
The need has to be identified generally by the organization, but also by the coaching counterpart.
Absolutely.
Her or himself.
Yes.
She or he needs to be wanting to be in the relationship.
Right, and then I think that the next thing that is really vital comes to the relationship, so that there's the chemistry meeting enables us to test whether we have the capability to work and dance together. Then I think that the next really interesting and intriguing step is the stakeholder interviews.
Yes. So getting a bunch of questions which are pre-agreed by the coachee and by the line manager or the person. And
by that, the data, the feedback, then we can really fine-tune the coaching goals and then really start working towards realizing the goals.
And then we're into sessions.
Coaching sessions, yes. So usually
90 minutes.
90 minutes, 6 to 8 sessions, 6 to 10 sessions. So usually it takes about 8 months to 12 months. Somewhere there's a halfway midpoint review. So we would engage with the line manager and potentially with some of the stakeholders and just seek for feedback. How is this person? What are the changes that the organization is already seeing? And then of course at the end of the whole process we have a review wrap it up and then thinking about what are the next steps. Well, if I'm reflecting my 20 odd years working in a Finnish organization in Finland, Helsinki, having gone through close to 20 leaders, I never came across with management by perkele.